Zip. Boing. Zap.
Zip. Boing. Zip.
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 Zip. Zip. Boing. Zip. Boing. Zap.
Just take a walk around the room, and I'd like you to walk around the room, and I'll show you. Just walk about, and you make sure that as you walk about the room, the space between you is completely even. It's called cover the space. But if you're not walking around, you've got to make sure that you're an even distance from the room. Brilliant. You just freeze. Look around the room without moving your bodies much. What's going on here? Is there a story? Say one word. There might be dozens of stories. What's the story?
Metro exit.
Metro exit.
Feet.
Feet. Two people meet in a very peculiar situation. They haven't seen each other for 50 years, these two. And around them are strangers. Everybody else. That's my story. Another story.
Discotheque.
Discotheque, yes.
No dance.
Any other story?
Loneliness.
Loneliness is an empty space. Would somebody volunteer to help me?
Yes.
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3. Right.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1.
Right, this is going to be unrectangularizing. We're going to get rid of the rectangle. So instead of going 1, I'm going to make a gesture and a sound instead of 1 that takes me out of my normal behaviour. So I'm going to go 1. I just made it up without thinking, and it looks silly, but it doesn't matter. 1,
2,
3. Then you copy my 1, 2,
3,
1,
2,
3. Right. Okay. And then we build this up until we have 3 of those. But practice it with just 1. It's going to be tense. That's lovely. Again, it's like a crazy conversation, but we made sense of it, didn't we? They made sense of it. It's about communicating and allowing yourself to see each other in a new way, really. Ooh, 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 lovely. Right, okay, so now this is the game, right?
Oh, no.
I'll explain to you what the complications of the game are after we've done it this way. I just like you to wander around and think, oh, I like their shoes, oh, I don't like their shoes. Just for the fun of it. So it might be a pair of shoes you really love that you decide for the purposes of an image that you don't like. And so just wander about and take a look. Right, so now you've picked a pair of shoes that you feel you could commit to, and a pair of shoes which you think you would like to be a bit of distance from. As you walk around, I want you to slowly manoeuvre yourself without telling us what you're doing, so that the shoes you really like are quite close to you, and they are between you and the shoes you don't particularly like. But nobody knows you're actually doing it. You're doing it very casually. It's like following a private objective with a lot of other people there who you don't quite know what they're doing, but the effect of it is very interesting. Each group choose an image to show the rest of the group as you present. So present an image and then present your thoughts. Yeah?
That one? Yeah, and then we're
One image with 2 people talking or communicating. This was all silent, very energetically, and then somebody sitting with their back, looking in the other direction, away from it, like that. And so it suggested a kind of real diversity of experience and people's experience being very different.
Two of us can do the mirror. How do you call it? Metacons.
Two things to
Yeah. I'll explain what we've just done, and then we'll put it in the bigger context. So what we've done was we've made a mirror, and because as a part of the reflection on the course, it made us reflect on ourselves. The effect in terms of reflection, it has a personal or private impact, like your emotion, your personal insight, but also the reflection in public terms, like the things we heard in theories or impact on society and all those things.
What did that say to you, those reflections, literally reflections, what did that say to you about the way the course was taught?
It challenges your personal beliefs, and in the end, through the research, it challenges the political bodies' assumptions.
It's non-definitive. There's no right or wrong answer.
People coming out of this course seem to be able to see the balance of things, and often when you do evaluations, it can be that people just start moaning, and they don't, you haven't just started moaning, you've actually applied in some way, I guess, something that was there. So the first exercises were interactive theatre type exercises, which if anybody wants to say anything about, did you enjoy those? Were they all right? Were they helpful?
I think one of the things that was said was, and I think it was said in the last feedback session that I was at as well, is that that we felt it might be valuable for there to be some kind of warm-up exercises actually at the beginning of the course, the learning, because it helps people to kind of break down some barriers, and for maybe people to feel a bit more comfortable about speaking and expressing themselves.
I think I felt really, that thing that you always do is feeling reservation when someone tells you you're going to have to do theatre exercises, and then they're really good fun and actually do break down and warm everyone up, and
especially
really silly.
where there's issues about language and potentially, culture, that maybe can be helpful, just to have that connection with people.
I mean, the main effect of those is to distract everybody from feeling self-conscious and involve them in what appears to be silly things, but which actually have content. We talked a little bit about image. We did the milling exercises with shoes, and we talked a bit about how people make meaning out of things which are apparently meaningless. So when you did the 1, 2, 3 exercise, everybody created a story out of a completely random set of noises and gestures. And when we watched it, there were clearly dialogues going on about all sorts of crazy things, about power, about all kinds of things. And we noted how meanings emerge. The first main exercise we did was just to a brainstorm, wasn't it, on words relating to the experience of the course. And then I asked people to go off into small groups and create 3 images each, 1 for each person in the group. The group took out, each group was asked to select words that it particularly resonated with. So I asked each group to pick words it resonated with, and then to create, each person in the group to make an image with the other people in the group of the feelings, thoughts, ideas provoked by those words that they had selected. And they did that, and the whole group looked at all those images and talked about them, fed back on them and discussed them and extracted things from them. Then I asked people to go back into their groups and out of those images and that discussion of those words to create a set of feedback topics that could come back to the tutors, and to spend time discussing those and then to present them back to the group, and that's generally speaking what we did. So if anybody wants to say anything about that process, which was intended as a rather quick process of reflection, did it function for you as a reflexive process?
It's a struggle sometimes to do something in a different way, and to think about doing something, whether that's research or whether that's evaluation of a course or whether it's anything that actually, when you said, make an image about something, and I think what I find I can be quite literal, and I struggle with getting into doing something in a creative way, and it does push the boundaries and the boundaries of what you feel comfortable with, but also it does force you to confront that kind of thinking, and that you can become, well, for me, that I can become quite linear in my approach to
And the
things.
images take you out of being linear.
Yeah, but also it's a struggle, and sometimes you know it's that tension between just kind of wanting to sit down and go, I don't know what the image of this is, and I don't, you know, can we not just write things on a bit of paper because it's easier, or it makes me feel more comfortable.
It is a struggle, particularly when something is very much in your head. To be asked to suddenly launch into something visual is quite hard.
I think what you're saying is really interesting, because actually in doing research, quite often researchers ask participants in research to do all sorts of things that they wouldn't necessarily have ever experienced, and therefore had that sense of what it feels like, and therefore whether it is or it really isn't something that's appropriate to be asking others to do. So I guess in terms of what this course is about, which is about doing research in ways, I think it's really exciting that you've experienced it and now you're able to kind of think about, would I might want to use this, and I would know exactly what some people might feel in that situation.